Jai Sri Ram. Thanks, Bharat Gopuji, for joining Bharat Marg. And friends, today we are going to see a pastor who was sexually harassing the girls in the church at Rameswaram area in Tamil Nadu. He is being arrested. And this is not one such case. You will find that in many occasions, pastor was part of Punithar Arul Anandhar Church in Rameswaram. Okay, many victims complained to the child welfare. In fact, many children were involved, and the pastor was arrested in uh, POCSO Act, POCSO Act, okay, which is meant for children. But yeah, anyway, see, we will be discussing with Shree Bharat Gopuji, who is working exclusively much in deeper sense in Rameswaram. He will explain to us why this is a very commonly find epidemic over there. But before going, friends, if you are here for the first time, make sure to like the channel, subscribe it, and make sure to press the bell icon so that anytime we go live, you are being informed for you to join and participate, and you can comment, ask questions, and give your feedback. Okay, but now let's go to Bharat Gopuji again. Jai Sri Ram, Bharat Gopuji.
Oh,
What do you say about
pleasure.
this in the Rameswaram area?
Okay, let me start by asking you a question.
Mhm.
What do you think Rameshwaram is in terms of demography today?
See, a couple of facts. What I want to share here about Rameswaram, as you asked the question, Rameswaram is a Jyotirling where it is built by Ramji for Shivji, and it's an incredible holy place for Sanatanis. But unfortunately, many have been converted to Islam and more of Abrahamic religions and more Christianity, and that's what it is. I will think at least close to 50% are Christians. Yeah. Are the Hindus minority there, Bharatji?
Yes,
Hindus are
yes,
minority.
yeah.
Right.
The member of parliament of Rameshwaram is a gentleman called Mr. Sadiq Bacha.
Uh-huh. Just little bit increase the volume, if you can come close or something like that. Yeah. Yes. You're okay.
The yeah the the member of parliament is Mr. Sadiq Bacha from the DMK,
Mm-hmm.
and nearly 30% to 35% of the population is now they kind of profess the Islamic faith.
Mm-hmm.
Another 30 to 32% is profess Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So nearly 60 to 65% is non-Sanatan. So automatically you're a minority.
Right.
And what happens in I'll give you an example. It's not an anecdote because this is something which I experienced. I personally went there. There's a place called Inuthukarai.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very very small village
Mm-hmm.
in Tirunelveli district. uh, this is just about 25 to 40 kilometers, or let's say about 15 to 30 miles from uh, Rameshwaram.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Majority of the village is Christian.
Okay.
In the last 45, 50 years, uh, with mass conversions, just about 60 families are Hindus today.
Wow.
And life is horrible for all the 60 families. I happen to meet a few of them. It is so bad that uh, the 60 families pulled in some money and tried to build a Ganesh temple there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Ganesh temple, it so happened the land was owned by one of the people, so they gave it off for construction of the temple. Uh, about 100 feet from or 100 steps from the Ganesh temple is a church,
Mm-hmm.
diametrically opposite. Uh, People are scared to go to the temple. I had gone to that temple.
The many times
And
people don't know, right? See, when you talk to people in North, they always think it's a jihadi terror that is like big, big, but they don't know exactly what really happens of the other Abrahamic faiths, like this one.
see, that's a very one is a fast killing poison, the other one is a slow killing poison. Fast killing because they are more terrorists, or they are more terror. They inflict terror on
Yep,
others to subjugate.
that's right.
Whereas the other one sweet talks you, coerces you, brainwashes you, or blackmails you into following a particular faith.
And they know
Uh,
what your weakness at and hit on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the choice is between the devil and the deep sea.
Hmm. But now,
Uh,
yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, no, no, please.
Now, why this sexual assault you think is very not uncommon?
Uh, it is not uncommon because if you go there and talk to people,
Hmm.
uh, they kind of take it in their stride because, uh, well, uh, you also have to accept that poverty in these regions is a reality, and
Hmm.
abject poverty, as in, uh, you know, life is very difficult. Survival is very, very tough. Now, uh, in the years gone by, or in the decades and centuries gone by, there has been some ill treatment or has been some caste discrimination, which is a reality. You can't run away from it. That's the
Right.
reality. And uh, evangelists and
They took
offshoots
advantage
of
of that.
the
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely.
Like any other business
And
person will do.
yes, and I'm glad that you used that word because conversion is a business, and it's a big business in at least in Tamil Nadu.
Right.
From whatever little I have seen, whenever I visit, I do ensure that I go and meet out common people and try and understand.
Hmm.
Uh, Conversion is a very big business.
Right.
Uh, I don't know. A lot of your viewers might be familiar with Chennai. Uh,
Hmm.
I think I have told you this in the past also.
Hmm.
There is an area called Vadapaini in Chennai,
Right.
and right next to the Sims Hospital there is a very small church, and there's a very small signboard put on it. Unfortunately, I don't know to read and write Tamil, so I asked someone what was written. So he said, beyond this door is gates of heaven, and all troubles vanish if the door is open. So I said, is there any date, or is there any kind of specific timings for the gates of heaven to open, or is it
but
open 24
But
hours?
absolutely. Bharatji, coming to the
Yeah,
subject here, let me ask
yeah.
you this. You know, many times people who are the victims of these sexual assaults that happens inside the church, as it was exposed many time in Kerala, they don't come and openly talk about it because number one, if they talk about it, then they get banned in their neighborhood. They don't talk to them, they don't do business with them, and those kind of thing. Number two is they don't have any other friends other than that because already their relations everything is cut if they are not converted. And they, number three, it is last but not the least, is being said that if you blame church or if you blame a pastor, you are an anti-Christian kind of setup being.
No,
So many
that's
of
that.
these victims live as victims but never expose. Do you agree with me on that?
I 100% agree with you, and I'll just add on to what you said, which is the truth. What happens is uh, the the typical local economy of a village is controlled by the pastor,
Hmm.
and you kind of get ostracized in that community if you speak against the pastor. So the pastor's word is final. It's the
Right.
pastor who decides whom you will vote for. Uh, all government facilities or any grant or any kind of financial package is handed over to the pastor for him to distribute to whoever he wants to. Okay,
And
so
even to the extent the children who they will marry is determined by the pastor. Do you
absolutely,
know that?
absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. It is the see that's exactly what we are talking about. The pastor, I'm sorry, but for lack of a better word, is the mafia don of that village, and he's the one who decides, uh, you know, who gets married to whom, who gets a education, because pastor recommends the missionary school to accept children,
Hmm.
and the reverse is also true. If the pastor says don't accept a particular child, then
Hmm.
it's impossible.
Absolutely.
And the local district administration looks up to the pastor for any kind of local help.
Right.
The local politicians look up to the pastor to gather crowds or for voting or for any kind of political support.
Right.
So basically, the pastor is the most influential person in these small villages.
Absolutely.
Now,
In fact, when compared to Islam, I believe pastors are more powerful than a mullah.
oh, they are 1,000 times more powerful.
Yeah.
Uh, you walk into any local police station in these majority Christian villages in South, and I have been to a couple of them in Rameswaram, Tuticorin districts.
Hmm.
Uh, who will be the police inspector in these villages are decided by the pastor.
Wow. So otherwise, they will
So,
get transferred if they catch hold of
no,
these
no, no.
guys.
So, and the criteria is kind of funny. At least I find it funny. You have to be a practicing Christian, and the local pastor gives you a letter of recommendation addressed to the minister or to the district administration or whoever decides, or to the higher ups.
Wow.
And
So
then,
the police are fixed by the pastors. That powerful they
yes,
are. Wow.
yeah, yeah, they're extremely powerful. And this might sound over the top, but you've got to see it to believe it. And once you see it, it's unbelievably true. It's an oxymoronic statement because it's unbelievable till you see it. And once you see it, you will not believe that this is the truth. Uh,
Absolutely.
the local temples are controlled by the pastors. Uh, Simple example, there is a Shivan Koil there, Shivan
Shivan
temple
temple.
in that particular Idinjakarai. And the shops outside the temple, and it's a fairly old temple. Right outside the temple, there are some shops, selling flowers and all these stuff which you take into the temple. They are sold by Christians.
Hmm.
Now, the pastor decides who will put up a shop there,
Hmm.
and how much of prasad will be made on a daily basis is something which is
So,
decided by.
in you are putting a light on a bigger thing here, okay? But let me ask you this: if a wife goes and says the husband that this pastor is kind of what happened in Kerala, you know,
It
three
will lead
years
to
a lady was
separation.
raped.
It will lead to separation and a divorce, but no husband or no man has the powers to go against pastors
Exactly.
the in the smaller villages, because we have had some similar instance in Goa.
Mm-hmm.
Why go to small villages in down south? Even in Goa, there
Mm-hmm.
was a father who was convicted.
Right.
I can't recollect his name at the
Father
moment, but
Franco. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, we did a video on him. Yes, it's
all
available.
right. And you have similar allegations uh,
And the
all
nun was
over
fired.
India.
The nuns,
Yes,
all those who protested were fired.
yes. So these are common instances which happen here. Uh, Not desirable, but these are common enough to not even evoke someone's eyebrows raised, because how many of these media people highlight these cases? Because I know I have a very dear friend in Goa who has spent the last 2 years highlighting uh, issues of women uh, at the mercy of the fathers and the pastors and what you say. Uh, Similarly, there are instances down south, especially in smaller cities or smaller towns. These cases are uh, fairly common, and people just shrug it off. It's like, okay, it happens. Hota hai, kya kare? That's the attitude.
But do you appreciate these girls and their family for having courage enough to stand against these bully pastors, to go and complain and make it happen at last?
I
That
I
means,
completely appreciate, respect any and every woman who has come forward and registered a complaint against anybody. Let it not be that people of one community or two community. I'm
and
saying against
do
anyone.
do know, the viewers has to know this guy has been booked under the Children Act.
But what happens is the record of convictions in these cases is abysmal. You register a case will go on for a few years. It probably will even make it to the headlines of a few media outlets for a few minutes. But if you see in terms of conviction, and I mean rigorous imprisonment or whatever
No.
other
and
punishments are on our statute, that is very few and far in between.
and see the difference between Asharam Babu and the other pastor you were talking about. He is free. The pastor is free. We are not saying one criminal versus other criminal. But there is a dual law in this so-called secular country of India.
Oh, no, no, no. There is no dual law. There is only one law, which is that we will discriminate against,
Hindus.
uh, well, I would say majority of the people of India who follow Sanatani faith, and that's the way we are. Do what you want to do.
Absolutely. But it is such a great pleasure. I want to say the people, do know that at Bharat Marg, we do teach a Sanskrit course online for all age groups. It's free. Anybody can join and learn, because if there is no Sanskrit or Sanskriti, you don't have Desha or Dharma, and you can become a member with Bharat Marg and support us, as well as you can become a practicing Hindu. Just know how it is, and also do send us a WhatsApp by sending +1 6479644790, and subscribe for our one dharmic message, and support us, because with your support only we are able to do what we are doing. And to Bharatji, the last word on this case.
Uh, there is light at the end of the tunnel for all the victims of sexual abuse at the hands of people in kind of favored positions in churches. But it's a very slow process. To all our sisters, daughters, and mothers, hope, and we can only pray and say, Ishvara Rakshatu, uh, because uh, it is very serious. It is actually very serious, and it is alarming. Maybe in
Yeah.
the next
you
30
you
years.
you
Uh,
walk into the door, you are walking into the heaven for them.
yes, no, no. In 20, 30 years, for all you know, Rameswaram might see a name change, because
Right.
demographically, you are in the minority, and in next 30 years, maybe you will become a micro minority there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much for,
Thank you, thank you.
one last thing I want to say, when I'm
Yeah,
talking to you on this aspect, okay, the husbands, like what you said, Bharatji, in Kerala case, husbands were aware their wives were misused by the pastors and gang of pastors inside the church for 3 years, and nothing happened. In fact, he told one of his friend that tape got released. That's how the case came out to the light. But you know what? I am so proud of these girls who and their parents who fought the fight. It's not easy. They came out and
Oh,
complained
it's
against the
very difficult.
very
It's very
difficult. And
difficult.
Bharatji knows it all because he is working in Rameswaram. Thank you again for what you are
Thank you.
doing, and
Oh,
appreciate
yes.
you coming here and spending time
All
with
right.
us.
No
Hare
problem.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again.